Today we're going to share a story of love, legacy, and the land that ties it all together. I'm Jim.
And I'm Kim.
And we're
your hosts. Welcome to Living the Dream TV, a lifestyle show dedicated to highlighting the journeys of people that are truly living the dream.
We're here today at the Trace Hermanos 1850 ranch with the owners, Mike and Peggy Lam. Property's been in their family off and on since 1850. We're looking to just get out here and have a great time with them.
I love your story because, a lot of people think, wow, look at them, they're all successful and made it, but everybody starts somewhere. And I mean, you guys started at the very bottom, high school sweethearts, made a lot of sacrifices, traveling around. And I think what I love about your story and just even being in here and seeing the legacy of your relationship with the grandkids and your sons, I mean, it's a legacy that you're leaving here.
My wife and I started dating in 1963. We were both in high school. I went to college in '64 and thought I'd surely forget her. In 1966, I came back and got her and married her. And we've been married now for 58 years.
Wow. And you grew up in Gatesville?
Yes, so did my wife Peggy.
Yep.
She grew up in Gatesville. And then we've pretty much traveled all over, not all over the world, but all over the oil producing world. We were in the oil service business for 30 years. While I was working, she was raising a family. She raised 3 sons, and they are outstanding.
So we got 2 kids that grew up in Gatesville. You live in London. You travel the world, you see different cultures, you see different people. What brings you back to the Texas Hill Country every time?
Family,
and this is our roots. Land, I guess, brought us back. If you can tell when you went through our place, we try to preserve the land. We want it to stay pretty much like it was when we were growing up. We do hunt, and we do sell a lot of animals, and we work on keeping our land in a pristine and clean. Keep it like we found it.
Yeah.
And that's the way we'll leave it to our children.
Yeah, good stewards of the land.
How many years did it take to put this place back together over the course of time?
We started in about '78, and we bought the last piece in about 2010. What's that, 20, 30 years, 35 years to put it all together.
And you weren't going to initially live here, right? No.
Oh, no, not in this place. We built this place as a lodge, but then it turned out too pretty to not live in.
Yeah.
So we decided we'd move
Yeah,
here.
we'd just live here.
The lodge, those rooms that you built with the extra names, how did the bunkhouse evolve after that?
Well, when we finished we call them the cabins here, it was just too nice. I mean, I love the way they turned out, so I said, honey, I think you need to build something else. And so that's how the bunkhouse evolved.
And so when you guys finished this place, you said, no, we want to make it home.
Yes.
Yes. I spent a lot of time here growing up. My dad was a contractor, carpenter. He traveled around a lot. Sometimes I would stay here during the school year with my grandparents who lived right over the hill right where that windmill is. And my great-grandmother lived right next door to them, or the next windmill. And then great-uncle lived the next windmill down from there. His name was Will Duncan. So we've had ties to this land
Yeah.
as long as we could, for our entire life.
Did you ever dream you'd ever be able to put your family place back together?
No.
No, I
Always hoped.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because you were saying your first job, or one of your first really big jobs.
First job out of college.
Yeah.
We were hired to go for an oil service company. I wound up working there for 20 years.
Out of New Orleans.
Peggy was more proud of the job than I was.
I'd never been anywhere, just right here. And out of college, we moved to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And that was an adventure.
Is that where you got $700 a month and said, what are we going to do with all this money?
Absolutely right. That was his job offer. And I thought, oh my gosh, it was great. We lived there for 12 years.
Yes. I traveled a lot during that time. I spent some time in Africa. But all that time she was raising a family for us.
Now, were all the kids born in Texas?
No. Billy, our oldest, was born in Gatesville. And then Jimmy and Daniel were born in New Orleans.
Okay.
When we went to Brussels, that was our first overseas, he came home and said, "We're going to Brussels." Where in the heck is that? Well, I truly had no idea. So it was the beginning of a big adventure.
We never moved from a place that she didn't cry. That was the place we were leaving.
That's true.
Because you fell in love with all of
Yes.
everyone.
Yes.
We can't leave New Orleans.
No.
And then when we got ready to move away from Brussels, we can't leave. I will say that you were happy to move away from
I
London.
was happy to leave London. That's a great place to visit,
Yeah.
but it's hard to live there. They don't drive on the right side.
A lot of the oil companies that we did business with were headquartered in London, international headquarters in London.
Your kids, they seem like they've got, and your grandkids and everything, they seem like they've got really stable values. Like, how was it raising them with him traveling all the time? I mean, I'm sure that was difficult.
First, I was blessed they were good. They were good kids. I don't know, you did what you had to do.
Yeah.
And it was fun. They were involved in sports, and so we were always doing something with the sports.
Right.
And so it was really good.
I'm an avid hunter and had a place that was high fenced. With the high fence, and you guys are gonna know it, you get, whether it's hunters or non-hunters, there's all these questions about ethics or management or canned hunts. So when you were going through that process of, are we gonna high fence or are we not, what drove your process, what drove your thoughts, and then how's it played out?
We didn't want this place for cattle. We have been in the cattle business and still are to extend on the other side of town. We wanted to try something different. And we thought this place was ideal for a hunting ranch. A lot of brush, a lot of elevation change, a lot of canyons, a lot of little hills through it. It makes it a challenging hunt, and we don't have any hunts that are you have to earn your animal. And I think the hunters in the end appreciate that. You've got to get out and work at it if you're going to get a trophy. Now, is it going to be successful? I don't know. We're still learning day by day, and our kids will have to be the judge of its success or not. We're not going to change it. Things are rolling right along, but is that the right thing to do? We think so, but they may have something else in mind.
Sure.
And then be their place somewhere down the road. Hopefully the road's pretty long, but maybe
There you go.
we didn't choose to get into what I'd call the really super trophy deer hunting. There's a lot of deer hunting ranches. We didn't want to get into that competition. But what we do is we chose several exotics like the Scimitar oryx and the red stag and audads and black buck antelope, fallow deer and axis deer. And we think we raised some very good trophies on those. But we're not out there competing with the super trophy whitetail bucks ranches. We're competing with the exotic ranches. I guess one of the big pluses about that is you can hunt year round.
With the exotic.
Although we discourage hunting in the summer just because this is Texas. It is hot. And so we encourage, let's start in September, October, and let's hunt all the way through to May, something like that. Although we have had some summer hunts, but we don't like them.
Right. Well, and that's what I told Kim, we were talking about it when we were driving around. What I like, of course I've seen lots of properties, both when I had my properties and in the real estate business, but what I like best about this one is the way you kept it and managed it, it looks like it would have looked 100 years ago. The native grasses, the brush, it all looks native and natural. So like you say, if your guys are going out to hunt, that's what they're seeing. There's not senderos that are artificial. You've kept it natural, so yeah.
One thing to realize that we still have a huge capital investment here, not only in the land and the buildings, but in the equipment. We still have to fight the brush and we still have to fight, say, erosion. And we keep on this place a skid steer, a dozer, and a backhoe, and then we bring in a couple of other tractors when we need them. And we're continually fighting cedar. It's a never-ending battle in this part of Texas. So we continue to fight that. If you go around, you'll see where we've removed a lot of cedar, piled it up, and burn it, and that goes on every year.
Sure.
And so initially when you guys were building this lodge, were you going to do it more, was it the purpose of it to do more commercial hunts for people?
That and family.
So is it more family, or can somebody come and pay to stay at the bunkhouse and do all that, or is this just really become a family?
No, we still have a lot of hunts. And, in fact, our first hunt started in October this year, and we'll probably do a dozen hunts a year, something like that. But we have repeat customers that also have the same values that we have
Right.
in the land, and so they have become close friends of ours. They
Right.
started out as customers, now they're friends, now they come back. We encourage them to bring their wives, we encourage them to bring their kids. And we have some parties. We've got a party coming up in December with Landon Dodd's going to play that party for us. And then we have last year we had a party, and
Will Bannister
Will Bannister played that.
down at the
So we,
At the party barn.
yeah, so we do that too, but we're not, we don't have an event center. We're not into,
Right.
we're not into weddings and reunions for this group of hunters we have, and others will come and go, I guess. So we do provide whatever fits their bill, you know.
You got a full-time chef down there too,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
At
we
the
Our
bunkhouse.
camp boss.
Yes, the camp boss.
camp boss. Yes,
Yeah.
And you
Brenda-
said she
Brenda
cooks
the camp
some anything, right?
yes, but chicken
Her
fried steak.
specialty is chicken fried steak.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, she can nail that.
They ask for that every time.
Yeah.
And then she makes a dessert. What does she call that dessert? That's
Oh, apple dumplings or apple enchiladas. She's good.
peach. The peach is my favorite.
Yeah.
Peach enchiladas.
Now, speaking of the lambs, interesting. When you have an interesting story because you have the graveyard
Yeah.
that touches your place.
Yes, we surround it, actually.
Yes.
There's a cemetery there that was formed about 1870, I think, and it was formed by Mr. Seaton. I can't think of his first name right now. But anyway, the Seaton Cemetery, and it was established, sad, from a hunting accident. The father killed the son while hunting one morning
12 years old.
and decided to have a cemetery there at that time. And it's been there for since that time. And primarily, there's people buried from the Leon Junction community. My picture you saw, he's buried there. So this is Duncan, and then his son, and then daughter, mother. I've got 4 generations buried there.
You know, we were commenting that cemetery is it's so beautiful. The oak trees, and it's maintained very well.
We inherited a run-down cemetery, and we were ashamed of it. And so we fenced it, cleaned it all up, and put security on it, and it's a pretty nice place.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
very restful.
So Peggy, you raised these boys. You started as high school sweethearts, and then come up the ladder. Do you have any advice to somebody that says, "Look, I want to be like them when I grow up"?
Don't worry about the little things. If their hair is too long, that's okay.
Absolutely. Pick your battles.
Take care of the things that really,
That is
really
true.
count.
If their hair is too long, someday they'll cut it. If that's what they want to do.
Right.
But our deal, Mike taught it to me, was pick your battles. If not, you'd be in a battle every day with 3 boys.
Yeah.
You have 3 boys.
Yeah. And I've got one with hair down to here.
And that's, and if that's his choice,
Yeah.
that's what we did with ours.
Yeah.
Mine were good, especially when Dad was gone. I mean, they could have been a big thing to handle, but they weren't. But that's all I can say is don't sweat the small stuff.
And love a lot.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys are a true testament. Married 58 years. Your grandkids love you. Like, you take them on fishing trips.
Yes.
I mean, it's like every kid's dream. It's truly living the dream.
Yeah.
Any advice, Mike, to somebody like a young person starting out that says, "I want to be"?
I enjoyed a lot of success in a career in the oil industry, and what gave me my success was I certainly wasn't the smartest one out there, but I was the hardest working one. And I worked very, very hard, very many days, very long hours, and sacrificed a lot of time with my family. the success that I've had was due to the hard work and not necessarily being smarter than the next guy, but working hard all the time and never quitting. Whatever the problem is, you got to fix it. You can't quit.
No, that's great advice.
Well, for those generations that question whether hard work works or not, this is what sweat equity gets you.
Yes. Kind of, Mike, what you said in business, it sounds like it's ran over into your family too, and you guys talked about having God in your life.
Absolutely.
And you know.
Yeah, no, we didn't have a smooth road all the way. We had some ups and downs and some bumps in the road, but we came to believe that God has a plan. When a door closes and you've got some adversity, I know the door opens, and you got to go through that other door and get on with your life.
We do believe that.
Yeah, that's a good life lesson. Any advice for this younger generation where, you know, my parents have been married over 60 years. Jim, you're at 50 years.
I'm at 50.
Any advice for a younger generation that, you know, gets married and says, oh, this isn't working? To
Work at it.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
It's too easy to say, I'm out of here.
Right.
I just think you got to put in the time.
Yep.
Got to talk. I think communication.
Yes, and being in love to start with.
Well, you guys look like you're more in love than the day you met her. It's a beautiful.
It's true. It's I'll love you more tomorrow.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that when he retired, you found out how much you really like each other?
That's absolutely true, because we spend every day together.
Yep,
And we found out we really like each other.
That's awesome.
it's a good
I
thing.
think I like her a little bit.
Can they find you online if they wanted to do a hunt, or is there a
Yes.
website they can go to for that?
Sure, we have a website. It's called Trace Hermanos 1850.
Okay.
And that's named after our three sons.
Okay.
We named the ranch after them, and the 1850s from when the Lambs first came here from Tennessee, as a matter of fact, and Carolinas, Tennessee, and then over to here.
Well, gosh, Jim, this has just been a real treat to get to come out and see you guys. The place here is gorgeous.
What do you mean a real? This is a treat for us. We couldn't ask for finer people than y'all.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's been fun. I mean, the place is beautiful. This place, what you built here, it's great. Good to meet you guys.
Well, we're proud of
I
it.
feel the love and legacy, really. You feel it when you walk in the door, and I can see what you're handing down to your family will continue to go down just because of
We hope so.
how you do. So thank you so much. This has been so fun.
Thank y'all for
The
coming.
pleasure
We
was
enjoyed it.
ours.
Thank y'all.
Thanks very much.
You bet.
Wow, Jim, that was a great story. I just love Mike and Peggy's story. It's so inspiring, so real.
It was. One of my favorite quotes is, most people miss their opportunity because it comes dressed in overalls and looks like work. I can tell you unequivocally that Mike and Peggy have never missed an opportunity.
If you'd like to see more content like this, then we would love for you to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time
On Living the Dream TV. What'd I do with my hands?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You did great things with your hands during the interview. I was happy with that.
You do little stick figures.
Yeah, I know what not to do.
Oh, okay, what not to do, okay. See if you can get it right the first time. I screwed up 3 times there.